Listen, you're going to want to pay attention to this video because I'm going to give you two words that if you really understand this, it's going to give you not only the ability to quickly understand what to change in your life to make it better, but it's going to give you a little bit of an insight over why up until this moment your life has contained things that you don't like, and your life maybe has looked away in certain areas that you don't want anymore. So these two words are simple. You see, in life, as men, as human beings, we have standards which are acceptable to us for everything. Now, likewise, we have a tolerance, and these two things go together. Think about it. If your standard for something is high, your tolerance for its opposite is low. Likewise, if your standard is very low, you will tolerate a lot of what you don't like. So those things operate in tandem. Now then, think about this. If you have a low standard for health in your life, you will tolerate bad food, bad diet, not exercising, getting overweight, all these things. If you have a very high standard for health in your life, you will no longer tolerate all the things that don't work to create that. Likewise in business, if you have a standard of, let's say, how much income you want to produce every year, most people have a very low standard of their yearly income. That means they're willing to tolerate a life where they can't do all the things they want to do, and they can't make the impact, and they can't travel, and where life is a little gray and a little bit unrewarding. If you flip it and you raise your standards for your minimum income in your head and your heart, what is no longer acceptable to you is below your standard. Your tolerance for the things that waste your time, your tolerance for being a consumer instead of a producer will go down. In your relationships with people, if you have a very low standard and you allow yourself to be surrounded by other people who want to waste their time and not expand and not grow, and who just want to watch TV and eat shitty food, that's what you'll get. You'll tolerate that behavior. As soon as you raise your standards of who you want to be and who you want to be surrounded with in your circle of friends and your community, your tolerance for that will go right down. So consider this. If you became aware that there were things in your life, and think about this right now, that you don't like, what you need to do is consider the standard which you've historically set for yourself. If that historical standard is low, it makes sense why your results are not what you want them to be. So what you need to do is raise your standards across the board and thus lower your tolerance for other things. This magically will expand your capacity for results because your life will shift away from low quality and move into high quality. And when you live in a daily, hourly, minute-to-minute pursuit of high quality in everything that you do, well, you become a person who will not accept anything less than increased capacity for creating your life the way that you want it to be. Now, here's where the challenge comes in. It's one thing to raise your standards and lower your tolerance, but you have to have the balls, the heart, the courage to make the change, and in many cases, to politely, calmly, lovingly let other people know that your standards have gone up. And what used to be acceptable is no longer acceptable. Those can be hard conversations, but remember what we said before. Your impact and the quality of your life is radically affected by the number of hard, challenging, uncomfortable, difficult conversations that you're willing to have. And this leads us into developing your ability of no. The power of no is incredible in your life. Every single high performer that I know has developed an ability to say no to a lot of things, because as you know, the more you say yes to things that are below your standard, the more of your time and your energy and your focus those things are going to eat up, and therefore the less time, energy, and focus you're going to have for the things that really matter, for the things that really create results. So you have to become a maniac. You have to become obsessed. You, in some cases, may want to become lovingly brutal in your ability to say no to things, to say no to bad food, to say no to dehydration, To say no to staying up late when you just need more sleep so you can operate in your zone. To say no to the people that don't contribute to your major definite purpose. To say no to yourself wasting your damn time on things that don't matter because life is short and you're here for a purpose. It's important to move every day towards your purpose. So I want you to consider the power of no in the light of your standards and tolerances. And your exercise to do before you get to the next video is very simple. Go back to those 4 quadrants we talked about: your physicality, your non-physical, your spirituality, your relationships, and your business. Draw out the quadrants on a piece of paper and write down where your results are being limited by a low standard and a high tolerance. Just write it down on each section. And then what you're going to need to do is write down clearly your new standard. Your new standard for your health, your new standard for your physicality, mentality, emotionality, your new standard for what kind of relationship do you want to have with people in your life, and of course, your new standard for income, business, and your impact. Go do that now, and when we get back, we're going to dig into another conversation which is going to take you even further towards some of these very simple concepts, which if you apply them in your life, will radically change your capacity for results in a very short time. So go do the exercise, and then I'll see you in the next video.